Are you ready to dive into the world of marketing wizardry? Whether you're a seasoned marketer or just dipping your toes into this dynamic field, we've got a treasure trove of knowledge waiting for you. Buckle up, because we're about to reveal the top 10 books that will transform your marketing career. The first in our list is Alchemy: The Dark Art and Curious Science of Creating Magic in Brands, Business, and Life by Rory Sutherland. Alchemy uses a psychological perspective to investigate the peculiar enchantment of marketing. Although the realm of consumer reasoning is frequently irrational, this book makes the case that marketers might benefit from people's tendency toward unpredictable behavior. Marketers can leverage the peculiar rationale underlying consumer choices to propel an improbable brand or product to unprecedented levels of popularity. Although there is some degree of unpredictability to this phenomenon, the book lays out a set of guidelines to improve the likelihood of a hit. Alchemy is a fascinating and educational book that explores the peculiar and amazing inner workings of the marketing industry. Next is The 22 Immutable Laws of Marketing by Al Ries and Jack Trout. The best-selling authors of this book, Al Ries and Jack Trout, establish the fundamentals of marketing for business owners. This would be the marketing rulebook if there ever was one. In addition, they offer case studies from real-world situations where major brands have effectively applied these foundational laws. In terms of business books, it is also incredibly thin. It may be finished in a weekend. As noted by Ries and Trout, you can construct an amazing aircraft, but if you disobey the rules of physics, particularly gravity, it will never take off. So why, they wonder, shouldn't successful brands likewise need to be launched and maintained by adhering to marketing laws? Ries and Trout provide a compilation of 22 novel guidelines for comprehending and thriving in the global market in the 22 Immutable Laws of Marketing. These priceless insights, which include the law of leadership, the law of the category, and the law of the mind, stand the test of time and offer a clear route to commercial success. Next is Influence: The Psychology of Persuasion by Robert Cialdini. How do you persuade someone to accept you? Getting someone to agree to a proposition is the fundamental goal of marketing. Said easier than done. People are constantly being asked for their time and money, and social pressures only serve to compound the already intense struggle for consumers' attention. Robert Cialdini explains in his best-selling book, which is also probably one of the greatest marketing books ever written, how to persuade people to say yes more often by deliberate and considerate means. Everyone, not just marketers and business owners, should read this book. Next is How I Raised Myself from Failure to Success by Frank Bettger. Anyone whose job it is to sell should read How I Raised Myself from Failure to Success in Selling, a business classic approved by Dale Carnegie. This book is for you if you are selling real estate, mutual funds, ads, concepts, or anything else. Frank Bettger was a failing insurance salesman when he was 29 years old. He could have retired by the time he turned 40 and had a country estate. What are the selling points that allowed Bettger to go from failure to unmatched success and recognition as one of America's highest-paid salesmen? The book is from the perspective of the author, who failed before making changes to his situation. It is excellent to get insightful and practical tips from a salesman who succeeded despite lacking experience and pulled it through the Great Depression. It is worth reading all the life-changing insights Frank Bettger has to share. Next is The Science of Storytelling: Why Stories Make Us Human, and How to Tell Them Better by Will Storr. Humanity is fundamentally a storyteller. Our behaviors, goals, and ambitions are driven by our beliefs about who we are and what we want to accomplish. They create our bonds with each other and may be considered our masters. Will Storr dissects the principles of effective storytelling and examines how individuals use tales to persuade, manipulate, and influence others, using examples from both ancient texts and contemporary culture. It's a compelling read. Next is Biology by Martin Lindstrom. To what extent do we truly understand the motivations behind our purchases? What really weighs on our decisions in the oversaturated world of messages today? Martin Lindstrom, one of Time magazine's most influential people of 2009, shows how everything we think and do is driven by mental forces of which we are only partially conscious, if at all, by fusing neuroscience with the art of marketing. Lindstrom demonstrates how these impulses could be monitored scientifically and then applied to improve advertising efforts. An appealing commercial, a memorable tagline, a charming melody? Or do our purchasing decisions happen so deeply subconsciously that we hardly even realize they're happening. Biology is a book written by Lindstrom that details the startling results of a $7 million, 3-year neuromarketing study. The experiment involved looking into the heads of 2,000 volunteers from all around the world, while they were exposed to different advertisements, logos, commercials, brands, and products. His findings challenge a lot of what we've long held about what piques our curiosity and motivates us to make purchases. Next is Positioning by Al Ries and Jack Trout. Positioning is the first book to address the challenges of communicating to a media-saturated, skeptical audience, outlines a groundbreaking strategy for forging a position in the minds of potential customers that takes into account both a company's own advantages and disadvantages, as well as those of its rivals. Advertising experts Ries and Trout explain how to create and position an industry leader so that its name and message wheedles its way into your market's collective subconscious and stays there. It also position a follower so that it can occupy a niche not claimed by the leader. It also provide info how avoid letting a second product ride on the coattails of an established one. Positioning also demonstrates how to 1. Apply cutting-edge advertising agency strategies to secure the largest possible market share and establish a household brand. 2. Create a weak point by repositioning a strong opponent. Base your approach on your competitor's weaknesses. 3. Make the most of your current position. Determine when and why less is more. Select the ideal name for your product. Examine current trends that may have an impact on your positioning. Ries and Trout offer an abundance of insightful case studies and insightful analysis of some of the most remarkable triumphs and tragedies in the annals of advertising. Positioning, now revised to take into account major advancements in the 5 years since it was first published, is a must-read for anyone working in business today. Next is Hooked: How to Build Habit-Forming Products by Nir Eyal. The national hit It's All About How to Build Habit-Forming Items by Nir Eyal explains how prosperous businesses create items that people can't refuse. Sometimes, excellent marketing doesn't even look like marketing. Indeed, word of mouth helps some of the fastest-growing brands achieve success. However, how can word of mouth be generated? Retention of users is crucial. The more time a visitor spends on and returns to your website, app, or online store, your best marketers are loyal consumers and repeat users. This is due to the fact that customers are more likely to refer others to your product or service if they utilize it for an extended period of time. The more your products get people hooked, the more likely those people are to spread the word. And as the word spreads, new users get hooked. And those newly hooked users go to spread the word even more. It's an infinite growth loop. Next is The Greatest Salesman in the World by Mandino. The Greatest Salesman in the World is a must-read for everyone in the sales industry and is a favorite of many. Several of the publications and sales methods used today were inspired by this 1968 publication. The book serves as a manual for success in salesmanship, narrating the tale of Hafid, a poor camel boy who succeeds in leading an abundant life. The major reason this book is unique is because of O.G. Mandino's incredibly inspirational and poignant writing style. After you start reading it, you won't want to put it down, and with only 111 pages, it's a manageable book to finish. The Greatest Salesman in the World is a book that every sales manager should read. This is a book that should be kept beside the bed or on the coffee table in the living room. It may be opened and closed as needed, and short, stimulating sections can be enjoyed from it. It is a book to turn to again and again, as if it were a friend. It is a book of moral, spiritual, and ethical instruction. It is an inexhaustible source of inspiration and solace for the hours and years to come. Next is Right Hook by Gary Vaynerchuk. It makes sense that one of the greatest books on social media marketing was authored by one of the most well-known figures in digital marketing, Gary Vaynerchuk. Strategies for popular social media platforms including Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and Twitter are outlined in Jab, 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 Right Hook. Telling an engaging audience-appropriate story is the key to social success on any channel, even though each one calls for a different strategy and material. If you want to check more about the books, check out the link given in the description below. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe our channel for more interesting upcoming videos. To hit the notification icon to get notified of our upcoming videos. Thank you for watching.